What is going on, guys? EmeraldGamer7 coming back at you with another video. Here you get my thoughts and opinions on Nintendo's E3 press conference. No, I'm not going to go into every little thing they talked about, just certain games that caught my attention here and there. So the first game we're going to talk about is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They just revealed the final character DLC, and it's Kazuya of Tekken fame. He's the last character that's chosen as DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And he seems like a pretty cool character. I'm not really a fan of Tekken, but I have played it, and I know he's like one of the more popular characters in the game. And the show was pretty cool. It showed him kind of like beating up everybody from like Kirby to Captain Falcon, I think Mario too. While it is cool that he is in the game, I just kind of wish they would have gone like in a different direction. Like I know millions of people want Goku of Dragon Ball Z to be in Super Smash Bros. And that'd be dope. I know I would want that too. And it's been years. We're going on. This is number, let me see, 1, 2, 3. This is the 5th Smash Bros. Game, and still Goku's not a part of it. Nintendo, what's up? What's the deal with that? Another character I would have liked to see as well is Dante from Devil May Cry. I felt that would have been a pretty good character, and he would have done well as being one of like the guys with the sword and with the guns, and he could just like do his slashes and then go pow 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 with his guns. I just think that would make for some pretty cool combos in the game. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that subject. Moving on, we're going to talk about Metroid Dread. I'm only going to talk about it briefly because if you want a more in-depth follow-up on this, I'll put a link to one of my previous videos in the description below. But yeah, it's not the Metroid that I want or need, but it seems like it's going to be a good side-scrolling game going right to its roots. Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, that kind of thing. So I am excited for it. It's just not the one that I was expecting or need at this moment in time. Alright, another game that we're going to talk about is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's going to be launching on the Switch, and it's going to include some DLC. So that's pretty cool, but it concerns me. I'm like, when I found out that this game was coming out for the Switch, I was like, what, seriously? Because this game, it's a pretty powerful game. Like, it looks great on my Xbox One X, not the Series X, I don't have that yet, but on the One X. And I'm just like, how the hell are they going to squeeze this open world Dragon Ball Z game onto the Switch? I'm like, this is a common case of, you might be able to do it, you could do it, but you shouldn't be able to do it. And like, I just feel like, one, I know it's not going to look good just because of the hardware that the Switch has, but I'm like, will it even run good with the frame rate, with the open world and the fighting and the Kai blasts for the characters? I'm just a bit concerned. Like, but still, props. I'm giving props for even attempting to make a Switch version of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. My opinion, you should just buy the PS4 and Xbox One version. But if you want to take this game on the go with you, then more power to you on the Switch. Now, if the game were to come out on, say, the rumored worst kept secret in the world, the Switch Pro, or whatever new console Nintendo's going to come out with, I feel that would be better. But for this game to run on the Switch, I'm not sure if the Switch can handle it. That's just my opinion. All right, next game we're going to talk about is a game called Fatal Frame: Maiden of Blackwater. Now, this is like a survival horror type video game that originally came out exclusively on the Nintendo Wii U. I didn't know about this game because I didn't have a Wii U back then. So I add this to the ever-going list of many Wii U games that are now coming out for the Switch, which is pretty cool. I'm excited for this game because it seems like cool. It's something different. It's unique. Plus, survival horror games are right up my alley. I like scary games. I like games where you have to think and be complicated and all that. And what I like is the gameplay seems to be different. Like, there are like these ghosts that come after you based off the trailer that I saw, and like the only way you can like kill or damage them is by taking pictures of the ghost, and like the camera is your weapon, and the better picture that you take, the more damage it inflicts on the ghost. And I feel it's going to be cool and unique, and I'm excited to really try to play this game and invest in it. Although, side note, when I was researching for this video, I did not know that this game is also coming out for other platforms as well. So not only is this game coming out for the Switch, it's also coming out for PS4, PS5, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, the Series S, all that, and I was not aware of that before I started researching for this video. So I was initially excited because I thought this was going to be like a third-party Switch exclusive for the Nintendo Switch. I was kind of bummed to find out that's come out for multiple consoles, because now that it is, I'm not buying it for the Switch anymore. I'm going to probably buy it for the PS5. 'Cause that's just me. I'm a graphics guy. That's just my opinion on it. But actually, I don't mind this game coming out for the Switch. I think it's going to be pretty cool for Switch gamers to play this game. And since it's being remastered from the Wii U, this game from watching the trailer doesn't look that graphically demanding. So I'm pretty sure I'll have no problem running on the Switch. So that's good. Now, the last two games we're going to talk about are two Zelda games, actually. We're going to talk about Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild Part 2. So we're going to start this off with Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is actually coming out fairly soon. It actually drops on July 16th. Now, I'm not that much of a Legend of Zelda fan, but the game does look pretty cool, and I like that it's being remastered in HD. It originally only came out on the Nintendo Wii way back so long ago, way back in 2011. Now, the game, back when it came out for the Nintendo Wii, seemed to have gotten some criticism for its motion control. So what they're doing for this HD remaster is they're giving you the option to either play it with motion controls or play it with a button-only control scheme. So for all you Nintendo Lite owners out there, you'll be able to play this game because, as y'all know, the Nintendo Lite doesn't have any motion controls. So with y'all playing it with the button-based controls, should be no problem for y'all, which is a good thing. Just a quick side note before we talk about the big elephant in the room, obviously Breath of the Wild Part 2. I just want to talk about how I was disappointed in Nintendo for there being no Switch Pro announcement or reveal during their E3 press conference, because I feel like now would have been like the perfect time to reveal it or announce it, because the Switch is old. It's already 4 years old, and then by March of next year, it'll be 5 years old. And even when it came out back in 2017, the Switch was already underpowered because the NVIDIA chip that's in the Switch came out in 2015. So that would make the chip that's inside the Switch 6 years old at this point. While it is impressive that we were able to get full-blown games such as 2016 Doom and The Witcher Wild 3, which was very impressive. I'm surprised they squeezed that big, huge, enormous game right into the Switch's size. You have other games on the Switch which have no business being on the Switch, like Ark. Why the hell is Ark on the Switch? That Switch can't run it at all. Or even Doom Eternal. I heard on the Switch, Doom Eternal is like a freaking slideshow just because the frame rate's so unstable and it's so choppy. But maybe Nintendo will announce the Nintendo Switch Pro or whatever it is that's it's going to be called the new console very soon, because with the PS5 and the Series X and S coming out, it's getting harder and harder for the Switch to even keep up and for developers to try to port the games down into the Switch's limited hardware. But I digress. Anyway, let's talk about the Breath of the Wild 2. Judging by going off the trailer, it seems to be bigger and better than the first Breath of the Wild, which is always a good thing. And from the way how the game is looking from the trailer, it seems that Nintendo is further along in developing it. Hell, they even gave it a 2022 release date, which is, in my opinion, amazing, just because it took them so long for them to develop the first Breath of the Wild. First, originally on the Wii U, before eventually making a version for both the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch. So they probably listened to the feedback, got impressions from the fans, what the fans liked, what they don't like. Because they're making a Switch version only of this game, they're further along. That way they don't have to develop just one version of the game, and they know what the Switch can do, what it cannot do. Anyway, I'm very excited for Breath of the Wild 2, and I gotta hurry up and beat the first one. That way I can be ready to play the second Breath of the Wild. Anyway, that's just my thoughts and opinions on Nintendo's E3 press conference. I felt it was a good show overall, just disappointed in the lack of a no mention of a Switch Pro, and the lack of no details for Metroid Prime 4 either. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like and subscribe below. The likes and subscriptions really do help out a bunch. I do appreciate it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.